You know what? It was just laid on my heart maybe a minute ago to make a short video about the spirit of hoarding and how the Most High hates and despises that. I'm going to speak a little bit based on things I've witnessed and experienced, and I'm just going to loosely cite the scriptures. It's there. You can find it yourself. We live in an information age. You can Google it and read upon it. I'll be paraphrasing it. I don't feel like, quoting things verbatim and going to the scriptures. I just want to make a quick thought in the video. I myself, I'm thankful that the Most High never gave me a spirit of excess where I want to overly indulge in something. That's when you begin to lust. Lust is a spirit of excess. And to hoard things amongst you, the Most High despises that. And I had a conversation with the missus this morning and my mother. And the conversation went to, I think it came to mind when the Most High brought the quail in. You remember that. Now, he didn't bring it in to tempt us. If he brought it in, it was his intent that some of us could eat from it. And the sci-fi, because our people were grumbling because they were getting tired. They were getting tired of the manna. Now, we know the Most High does not tempt us. So he brought it in for us to eat. But the problem was, and a lot of folks get this wrong, and it amazes me, everybody doesn't have the right discernment of scripture. The problem is that niggas got to lusting and got more than they needed. It says the Most High brought the quail in with a strong wind, and they were stacked up on top of it. They were alive, stacked up. What is it called? And I'll just say feet. I'll say 3 feet. But in the Bible, it's called not an imer, but a cubit. A cubit is this length. It's from my elbow to here. And it said they were stacked up so many cubits high on pile each other. So he brought in more quail than we needed. If you would have went out there and maybe got 1 or 2 and 8, it wouldn't have been a deal. But if you read it, it says niggas went out there and got bag full. And the Moses made reference. He said the man that got the least amount, it's like he had a big sack full, a bushel. It's a imer, or I forget the Hebrew word for a bushel. It'll be there. But, they got excessively. And then when you think about the manna, on the day of preparation, an imer is the handful of a man. And it said every man shall gather an imer or a handful according to his eating or according to his household. And on the day before the Sabbath, which is the 6th day, Friday morning, the Most High rained down twice as much. And a man, you could go gather twice as much for 2 days eating. And it said he that gathered, a little wasn't lacking. But the Most High commanded that we don't take more than we need. Because if you left any of it over to the morning, it bred worms and it stank. Okay? And even Moses cited, he said, howbeit, niggas still didn't listen. Somebody went out there and they hoarded some more than they needed. And guess what? The next morning, just to prove his point that his word is eternally true, it got worms and it stunk really bad. So that's what it was. And it said when we went out there and gathered more than we need, had bushels, killed a bunch of quail and hauling them in as if they going anywhere. It says while the meat was yet in their teeth, the Most High smote them with a sore plague. And I want to make reference. When I lived at Veterans Village, it was almost 7 years. I was there almost about 6.5 years before I moved. People used to donate a lot of things to the veterans. And some people, only people who live there would know who I'm talking about specifically. And I won't call no names because a lot of these brothers are past the deceased now. But they would often call me down and say, hey, they donated this. You can go pick this up. Most of the time, I didn't even go because I didn't need it. I didn't have a need for it. But the times that I did go and I thought that I had too much, I would give it away to somebody. And I've always been that way. I've always been modest when it comes to that. If I feel like I got too much, I'll find somebody to give it to. But you had niggas in there, I kid you not. If there was something to eat, I would eat a small, modest plate. But you had, I'll just say it like this. To show you that we are the people of the book, they were loading up One guy in a wheelchair would pile up food in his lap and behind his wheelchair. Another one had a box. Listen to this now. He riding around in a motorized scooter. Not only did he have a bunch in his lap, but he dragging a box full of food behind him with his cane. And that's the first thing that came to mind, because we are the people of book. I said, damn, that's that same spirit that the Most High wiped out amongst us, being excessive. And that's why that place was called something in Hebrew. I don't know the exact name, but what it meant was those that lusted. Now, you got to remember, there's a different. Lust is excessive. To eat is okay and be satiated, but when you lust after something, that means you go overboard what it was intent was. A lustful spirit, you can have intercourse, but you can get grossly overboard, and that's going overboard. When you lust, just lusting after something. So it was that lustful spirit. The Most High is our provider, and He hasn't failed us. Our faith that He was going to rain down manna the next day. So why would you hoard up more as if it's going somewhere? So that's what made Him angry. He brought in all these quails, which was more than for us to eat, that we could eat. We just to satisfy the little. He know that the spirit is willing and the flesh is weak. And if a person went out there and took a quail or maybe two, it wasn't no big deal. But those, you know what? And I know I use the word a lot. Went out there and got to killing them and piling them up in bags. And we know what happened. And a lot of people died because of that. So beware of the spirit of excess and the spirit of lust, of a lustful spirit when you take more than you really need. And that's why in these days, we're not supposed to store up. I hear people, doomsday preppers, hey man, store up food and canned goods and all that. Didn't His Majesty say, take no thought on what you will eat or what you will drink? Yahuwah is going to fight for us. He is our salvation and our rock. He is a man of war. He's given us a front row seat to the fall of our enemies in this day. Queen Elizabeth's passing marks the end of a Gentile rule. It really does. It marks the sign of a champion. 70-year rule. Even that equates to the book of Jeremiah, parts of when we served in Babylon. Hebrews been speaking on that. But these are also signs. He's not only bringing down these wicked nations' economically, but militarily, financially, and even their quote unquote monarchies and their governments. Okay, because the kingdom is at hand. And that's why the previous video I made, you got to be careful, because we're in the 11th hour. And many of y'all are still out there blind. You don't care about His name. You took it in vain. You're dismissive of it. You don't care about His Sabbath days. And you're not honoring your father and your, in heaven, and your mother, and the righteous. Those are the greatest commandments, the first 5. And it's dangerous. So when a person reproves you and you don't like what they say, that reproof is given out of love. Just like I said, a woman got pissed off and blocked me last night because I said something she didn't like. And if you're on social media and you post something publicly, damn it, it's open for debate and criticism. Just like Micaiah in the Bible. He was the only prophet of Yahuwah that was telling the truth, but yet wicked old King, what's his name, despised him and threw him in jail. You should know better. A platform that only gives you a thumb up and don't allow you to dissent and disagree, the same gonna censor your speech, because not to give you the option to not like something is a form of censorship as well. If a lot of you if we had that thumbs down button, a lot of you would see the truth. This shit is not nice. The shit I'm posting is not true and it's not like. So that tells you the spirit of these heathens right there, who only gives you the option to agree. Yahuwah himself didn't censure Satan. When Satan was in heaven telling them lies, Most High didn't shut him up. Shoot, he already know. He was like, I'm going to find out. He already knew. But for the others' sake, he said, let them see what the end of this is going to be. I've given them the truth. I'm not going to shut up Satan. We'll let all the ones that lust after that lie and that love it, we're going to throw their asses out of heaven and cast them into the earth. And they're going to do the same thing here and the same thing. And at the end, and he's all powerful. He already know what the deal is. He ain't got to prove his point. He going to prove it at the end. And when all is said and done, when all the lies have been spoken, you're going to see the end of Satan. All the ones he deceived, the fallen ones, going to be cast into eternal fire, where the flame never dies and the worm never dies. You know, he said, where the fire is not quenched and the worm, them little heat monkeys you see, never die. That's a real place. So you better love truth and quit getting pissed off at people. You worse than the heathen. Oh, I'm going to block this nigga. He said something I don't like. But was it true? I ain't got to apologize for the truth. The truth predated me. It ain't my word. It's his word. It's eternal. Learn these little tidbits and these little nuggets, because most of you are asleep, and the wicked have a much larger following than the righteous. The righteous love you. I would rather have a person slap me with the cold, hard truth that I wake up, even if it hurt, than a person to sit there and just tell me little sweet nothing and kiss my ass. But yeah, man, bro. You know, the opinion of the righteous is much better than the favors of the wicked. You better wake up and hear this, because we're in the last hour. And I would love to see many of my brethren into the kingdom. But when you know what manner of people you are, we are, because I'm part of the house of Israel too. We're stubborn and stiff-necked, provocative, raunchy, rebellious. I can go on and on. You can understand why the Most High wiped out a lot of us. So I just want to make that little short video. It's about lusting and taking more than you need. The Bible speaks against that. So don't worry about storing. And I'm going to be honest with you. I got a lot of ammunition and I got quite a bit of weapons. But I don't think I'll ever have to use them. I'm not going to buy no more because I don't think I'll ever have to use them. Don't get me wrong. I will use them if I had to. Y'all, anybody that know me know I will. But I don't put my trust in them, because Yahuwah delivers without the sword. You know, he allowed me to have them just so I can feel good about myself. You know, I got some weapons. But the truth of the matter is going to be by his hand. His hand, his right hand, the Yod, the Son, the Yah. That's the Son of Yahuwah. So keep that and bear that in mind. It's not going to be how well, you know, growing your own gardens and storing up water and food. That's what the heathen going to do. They're going to dig bunkers and try to get away from them angels. Them angels going to dig them out the bunkers and burn them up. I don't care where you have. You can't have. One angel can destroy them all if he wanted to. So you put your trust in Yahuwah, as it's written in the Psalms, except Yahuwah keep the house and watches the house. The watchman labors in vain. So that's what I wanted to say. And I'm going to call the missus back. Peace be with you and Shabbat Shalom.